All right, I think we're live. What is up, folks? My name is Melvin, and welcome to this wonderful place that we call the internet. Usually I don't come in with any sort of topics, but today I just felt more empty than ever. Well, part of it's my day off, and weird things happen on my days off. I'm just suddenly filled with a lot less energy than normal, and I don't like that. So, uh, I felt like something that might help me out a little bit is if we just kind of go on the internet together. Now, this is that's a later topic. I was just testing the video, but I'm going to talk about them soon. But I just felt like going on the front page of Kotaku for now and just kind of see where things go. These ads are huge, take up so much space when you get in. But let's just read some of these things. I don't really catch up with gaming news on a regular basis, but I still care about gaming for the part of me does. So let's just read. God, these ads are. Why do they take up so much space? Can I hold on? I don't know. Made the sorry that it's smaller to read, but it just takes up so much space. But I'll read the articles for you. So Pokemon Legends. It's the next Pokemon game that's gonna come out, and um, we'll see how interesting it is. I've never really cared about Pokemon except for when I was really, really young, and I'm not saying that as a way to insult any of the fans. It's just that's literally when I cared about Pokemon. I just really stopped caring much later. Um, yeah, not can't really think of a good reason. Just didn't catch my interest later afterwards. But let's read the article. All right. So title: Pokemon Legends. Aquarius trailer highlights the horror of aggressive pocket monsters. So I guess it's talking about really powerful Pokemon. What do you do if a powerful Pokemon is in your area? So with the release of Pokemon Legends, Arceus right round. Yes. Just the bananas, thanks. Mm. All right. So, with the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus right around the corner, Nintendo has released a new gameplay overview that shows the downsides of adventuring in the time before pocket monsters and humans became the best of friends. Avoiding the tall grass is not going to save you when Garchomp and Snorlax are coming for your blood, kids. The ancient Sinnoh regions known in Legends Arceus is the Hisui region is not always a walk in the park. Sure, you'll be able to toss magical spheres at tiny adorable starters, plucking them out of their natural habitats without a care in the world. But if you hope to triumph over some of the area's most massive denizens, then you're going to need a bigger set of balls. The imagery of an angry-eyed Snorlax charging at the game's main character is going to stick with me for a long time. All right. Oh, 6 minutes. 6 minutes is a long time for me. It's not a trailer. It's more than a trailer. Alright, well, we'll take a look anyways.
人とポケモンは共に生きる道をまだ知らない。
I wonder if I'm gonna get copyright stricken by Nintendo. They seem to do stuff
舞
like
台
that.
は翡翠地方。後に新王地方と呼ばれるこの地では
Now that I'm saying
野
that,
生
I'm
に生きる
kinda,
ポ
I
ケモ
kinda
ンた
don't
ちの
want to
生
play
態はまだ明らか
a
に。
lot of this. Or maybe I'll play with the sound off. Maybe that helps. I'm not sure. It's not like I'm gonna know what they're saying anyways. It looks nice though. Not amazing, because Pokemon games, honestly, they haven't really looked graphically amazing ever. Um, I know they started on the Game Boy, but still, they just never. Because the game, Pokemon can still look a lot better. They, it seems like a purposeful choice. Now I'm seeing the battle system and how similar it is to just other Pokemon games. So I'm wondering how much of it has changed or is going to change. Okay. I'm just kind of looking through this. I got really paranoid. Ooh, look at boss battle. Huh, interesting. Okay. I think what would have made this like a 10 out of 10 game was if they turned this into an open world game. Now, I know open world games are super like they're starting to become passe. You know, open world games aren't what they used to be. They take a like or yeah, yeah, open world games in general. Yeah, they just aren't what they used to be. But um, I don't know, just making this online somehow, interacting with all the players, that would have been cool. But I understand that's a very huge task. So let's read everything else. The video itself is currently only in Japanese, is an overview of the game's features and systems, most of which we've seen in action previously. Your character wanders the open area of Hisui, collecting Pokemon to fill out the first Pokedex. Some monsters will come easy, others will require weakening via battles with you and your stable of friends. In town, you'll be able to craft, buy, and sell items and pick up missions in the field. You'll set off from your base camp. As as your explorer rank increases, you will gain access to new locations, and rideable Pokemon are the key to getting to hard to reach areas. If you watch closely, you can catch a glimpse of something even more horrific than an angry aggressive Snorlax. Imagine you're wandering the region, come across a shiny Pokemon in the wild, and then this happens and it flies away. Ah, the joy of watching overworld shines fly off into the sunset before you're even thrown into a single Pokeball. This game is going to be good, or at least good at generating salty, sweet tears. Pokemon Legends Aquarius arrives on Nintendo Switch January 28th. Oh, it's really, really soon, actually. Didn't even realize. I don't even own a Nintendo Switch, so I mean, my roommates do, so I could still buy it and play it, but it's not really for me personally. Let's read this news. After Sony passed on Days Gone 2, devs pitched open world resistant reboot. Alrighty. Is there a way to like get rid of this? I was trying to, but okay, there we go. It went away after a while. All right. The studio also was at. Then I say that, and then another ad. The studio was asked about making a Siphon Filter reboot, but that didn't happen either. Former Ben studio director Jeff Ross recently revealed that he pitched an open world Resistance sequel after Sony made it clear it had no interest in Days Gone 2. There were also talks of a new Siphon Filter reboot, but none of the projects made it very far. According to Ross in a new interview with David Jaffe, on David Jaffe's January 6th livestream, Ross discussed how uninterested Sony seemed to be in Days Gone sequel pitch, calling it an uphill battle, and ultimately the studio failed to convince Sony the idea would work before Ross left behind in 2020 after nearly 2 decades. It was very obvious that we shouldn't be talking about Days Gone when we were working on the pitch for Ben's next game, explained Ross. It was clear that it was a non starter and there was nothing in the pitch that made local manager and his boss feel good about it. He later added that it seemed Sony was interested in nearly anything but Days Gone 2. Following the lack of interest in Days Gone 2, Ross and the studio then tried to pitch another idea to Sony, a new Resistance game, but this time it would be an open world shooter. The pitch I was making was an open world Resistance would be fucking rad, said Ross. There were all of these open world loops that we figured out. It almost wrote itself with Resistance. There were so many aspects of that property that lent itself to open world gameplay. Sony also passed on that idea, which Ross theorized could have been because that last Resistance game might not have sold well enough to justify a reboot or sequel. Interestingly, Microsoft's big name shooter franchise Halo went open world last year to great success. I also want to share Resistance 3 is fucking awesome and one of my favorite games. If someone wants to remaster those games or just the third, I'd be happy. Okay, back to the story. During the interview, Ross also claimed Sony asked him and the Ben team to reboot a long dormant third-person action series, Siphon Filter, which I actually need to click on the link because I don't remember. Okay, it won't. I want to see like pictures and stuff. It sounds very familiar. I've never played it, but it sounds familiar. Let me see some videos. Got a 9.5 out of 10 from IGN. That's a trailer. I kind of wanted to see. Oh, I actually might have played Siphon Filter. That's PlayStation 2. I've played the PS1 game, but like I didn't play very much because I'm not. I don't know. PS1 shooters aren't much for me. But yeah, I might have played it. That's the highest quality. Sorry, I mean it's a PS1 game, so you can still see it. Yeah, okay, this is still not the one I played. I just want to play. Okay, let me. There we go.
Phase 2 of the Siphon Filter virus.
Wait, Siphon Filter. No matter. I just want the first one. Siphon Filter 1, PS1. There. Long play. I don't care. I just want to show some footage of the first one. Of its jankiness. Here we go. But I mean, clearly it shows popularity because I couldn't even get the game I was trying to get because there's so many Siphon Filters. So there you have it. I do want to see some shooting. Shooty shooty bang bang. There we go. Some shooty shooty. Whoa. That's cool. I didn't know that there was that. I did not get very far in Siphon Filter. Roll. Alright, cool. So they were trying to make a remake of that. However, Ross didn't feel like the game was a genuine plan at the time. It was almost like a keep them busy type of question. Hey guys, why don't you come up with something for Siphon Filter while we figure out what we're confident in pitching? So I don't think it was ever genuine. Ross told Jaffe. He also added that he had zero ideas on how to reboot that franchise and admitted that he wasn't interested at all in the idea. Earlier this week, Ross tweeted about Sony's reaction following the release of 2019's Days Gone. Though Ross claims the PS4 open-world zombie game sold 8 million copies in less than 2 years, he explained that it was still considered a disappointment in the eyes of management. This tweet came as a reaction to the news that Ghost of Tsushima had sold 8 million copies and was being celebrated by Sony as a big success. All right, so I think the reason why Days Gone was not considered a big success is just critical acclaim and then just what it's seen in the public eye. Ghost of Tsushima is seen as an accomplishment. Days Gone, not really. I haven't played either, so I'm not saying that I have any experience with it. I'm able to play Days Gone. I could play it if I wanted to. And same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, actually. I could play both of those games. I just haven't. I have no interest in playing either. Actually, Ghost of Tsushima a little bit. But yeah, it's just Days Gone. How much is it talked about by people? And it's just not. Ghost of Tsushima is. People really, really like that game. So that's what it is. Sorry, it's not. I guess it's not about sales anymore. Interesting. Back at Ben's studio in June 2021, Sony confirmed that the team was working on a new IP that would build on the deep open world systems that developed with Days Gone. So it seems that if Sony has any plans for Days Gone 2, a new Siphon Filter, or Resistance reboot, it's still not happening at Ben's studio. While I know many might be sad about not getting a new Days Gone or an open world Resistance game, I'm just happy to hear that Ben's studio is still alive and working on something. In the industry, 1 or 2 flops can sink your ship, lending to layoffs and studio shutdowns. What is this article? Oh, it's all the way back in 2014. That doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, but does it involve Jaffe? Is that why? Let me see. Jaffe. Nope. So it's just a link to a 2014 article. All right. Trying to see if there's any other articles that catch my interest. Okay, let's see. What to expect from Nintendo in 2022. I am a little curious about that. From new Pokemon to new Zelda, the Switch poised to have an awesome 2022. For the past few years, Nintendo has been in stasis, homeostasis, I guess. Sure, the Switch has seen no shortage of terrific games recently, but Nintendo's annual slates have lacked the incandescent mark marquees that define the hybrid console's first year or two. The dry streak comes to a halting stop in 2022, which is shaping up to be a potentially banner year for Nintendo. One that'll even see some noteworthy exclusives falling outside of the fiscally reliable sequels, remakes, and remasters tent. Let's break it down. Right, Pokemon Arceus. What was Pokelife like before the invention of the Pokédex? That's the question at the core of Pokemon Legends Arceus, a spin-off of Nintendo's. Why is it called a spin-off? Like, does that mean it? Are they saying that just in case it fails? So they're like, oh, it was just a spin-off, you know? Like, it, if you want old Pokemon, we can go back to that. A spin-off of Nintendo's signature creature collection series, set eons before the modern Pokemon games. Legend Arceus explores the Sinnoh region, the setting of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl versions, which was just received a remake treatment on Switch. Following its initial reveal, folks compared Legends Arceus to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but subsequent gameplay footage thus far has indicated a role-playing game with a bit more structure, something closer to Monster Hunter. I don't really see a lot of. I mean, I do see like the dodging, I guess, in Monster Hunter. It's very simplistic though. That's the only thing. And that's a good question, honestly. If we're bringing up Monster Hunter, how come they don't have weapons? Like, hmm. I wish that was explained by lore. Like, I get it, Pokemon are really powerful and you're using them to fight other Pokemon, but you don't have a sword or anything. Like, I I know we just saw the video where he was throwing stuff at a monster, but throwing like, bo- I guess that part feels a little weird. So what is this game? It's Square Enix. Triangle Strategy. Triangle Strategy has already proven itself. Last February, Square Enix made a demo available for its new role-playing game back when it was known as, brace yourself, Project Triangle Strategy. Uh, Ostensibly, Triangle Strategy, which is down up in the same visually magnificent 2D HD style as Throwback's game like Octopath Traveler, is a medieval inspired tactical game a la Fire Emblem. But if the demo is any indication, you'll spend as much time in castles and war rooms as you do on the battlefield, underscored by an unexpectedly unique conversation system that has you trying to convince allies to steer narrative branches towards outcome you prefer. Ooh, Advance Wars 1 plus 2 Reboot Camp. I haven't played it, but the fact that there's a reboot kind of gets me a little excited because I hear good things about this game. Despite its name, don't call it a reboot. Advance Wars 1 plus 2 Reboot Camp is a compiled remake of two totemic tactical RPGs from the Game Boy Advance, 2001's Advance Wars and 2003's Advance Wars 2 Black Hole Rising. Most of the fundamental mechanics remain in place, but both games have received a graphical overhaul. Reboot Camp was initially planned to release on December 3rd, 2021, which would have marked the second year running in which Nintendo closed out its year with a re-release in some form. So what was the last one? The original Fire Emblem. Interesting. I didn't know that. Now I do. Uh, but in October, Nintendo pushed the release. Oh, that's it? That's it? What? That's the whole article? You're telling me uh the dry streak comes to a halting stop in 2022. Okay, it comes to a halting stop. Remember that. How many games? 1, 2, 3. Wow. The games don't stop, don't they? Okay. Um anything else interesting? Anything else to catch my attention? Let's read this one. Whatever. Cuz let's see how popular VR is becoming. First, we're being sponsored by water. If you're ever thirsty, have a water. It's good for you. Avoid soda. Sure, it's tasty. It has sugar in it, but it's gonna ruin your teeth and ruin your health. So have Melvin save you with water. Mm. That is the only thing I've put in my body all day. It feels weird. All right, let's see where VR ended in 2021. The Quest 2 VR headset had a hell of a good holiday season. Last holiday season, the Quest 2 VR had gotten off to a rocky start, with reviewers praising the virtual reality's headset tech but planning its mandatory Facebook integration. This year, with the Facebook restrictions relaxed, how relaxed? Let's find out. Hooray, thanks, ad. Hooray, Oculus Quest devices no longer require Facebook accounts. But okay, so I'm not gonna read the whole article, but the problem is just because they say it now doesn't mean it won't change in the future. So that still makes me hesitant because they can just add it anytime. They can they like how vocal would we have to be? Um, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. The only reason why they did this, and I'm sorry I'm going off topic, but I feel like it's important. The only reason why they did this was because they don't have enough sales yet of the Oculus to justify having Facebook accounts. But once the VR sells hundreds and hundreds, well, not hundreds, like millions and millions of VR headsets, then yeah, they're definitely going to put back Facebook accounts, the requirements of it. So, yeah, there's no way. Once it becomes successful, they'll definitely do it. So I still feel a little weary about that. Xbox and PlayStation consoles being hard to find, and the imagined rise of some sort of techno magical metaverse. Insert the Quest in the Quest 2 was at an all time high. The headset even surpassed traditional consoles in Google search volumes for the first time ever. Is it finally VR time? I was pretty sure virtual reality's time should have started with the release of the original Quest in 2019, back when the Oculus Quest, and not in the Meta Quest or whatever the company formerly known as Facebook is calling it now, it did away with all of the annoyances of early virtual reality headsets: high costs, expensive PC hardware requirements, extensive play space, and reliance on external tracking. All a user had to do was charge the headset, put batteries in the controller, and they were good to go. It was as simple to use as virtual reality was likely to get, while still being able to provide performance and games far beyond cheap Android powered headsets they sell at Walmart. The Quest was the best thing to happen to VR since the modern era of virtual reality began. The Quest 2, with its enhanced power and shiny white exterior, should have immediately been a huge hit, but Facebook's insistence that users connect to their social media accounts and access games and other accounts declared the standalone headset hype train when it launched in October of 2020. Cut this past holiday season, and the hype train seems to be back on track. Case in point, as noted by the virtual realities experts at Road to VR, during the height of the holiday season, the Quest 2 surpassed PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch in terms of relative Google search volume. The VR headset's Google's peak was brief and mainly focused around the Christmas weekend, suggesting new users looking for tips to getting set up, gift card recipients looking for something to buy. The point the point is, the first time ever the VR headset exceeded search volume of traditional game consoles since it launched. So it's just search volume. That's it. I mean, sure. But I okay. The developers of some virtual reality's best game also noted a spike in Quest game sales over the holiday season. Janetta, ah, I can't pronounce that last name for the life of me, maker of the excellent Falcon Age, noted the spike in sales of the 2-year-old bird adventure on Twitter. Okay, so actual game sales went up, so that's cool. Okay. As he notes, there were no special sales for the game to coincide with Christmas. The spike is just from new Quest owners hunting down the best games to play on their devices. Due to the relatively slow adoption of virtual reality compared to regular gaming consoles, high quality games have a very long tail in the marketplace. Another example is Superhot VR, the VR version of the amazing time bending action game originally released in late 2016 as an Oculus Rift exclusive. The game's revenue has continued to grow year over year. According to data from game sales tracking site IndieBI, tweeted by site co founder Callum Underwood, projected revenue for the game is up 42% over last year, mostly accounted by the Quest version. If you want to get into virtual reality, it looks like the Quest 2 is the way to go. Right now, oh, I don't know why I said it that way. It looks like the Quest 2 is the way to go right now. And if you're looking for a unique gaming experience that's cheaper than the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and OLED Switch, the $299 Quest 2 is also your best bet. Affordability, availability, and accessibility are exactly why the Quest 2 topped Amazon's video game charts. And from Black Friday to Cyber Monday this year. And though Sony recently dropped details on the impressive sounding PlayStation VR. Ooh, there's a. Okay, I actually didn't know there was a PlayStation VR too. That's interesting. There's really. Is there anything about this? Are these the official controllers? It says photo by Sony. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know about that. Dang, there's a lot less I knew about gaming than I thought. Interesting. Okay. I was just curious about that. I didn't want to read the article. It's unlikely a headset requiring a $400 to $500 console is going to surpass the much less expensive standalone hardware. The Quest 2 has momentum, and with everyone talking about the virtual reality metaverse these days, the momentum is only going to grow. Want to get in on the ground floor of the metaverse? All it takes is $300 and you'll be fumbling about VR chat wondering what the hell you've gotten yourself into in no time. Meta isn't sharing specific sales numbers at this time, but when reached for comment, a representative did tell Kotaku that the Quest 2 was a very popular gift for the holidays. Further pointing out the Oculus app required to set up new hardware was number one on Google Play and the iTunes App Store Christmas Day. On December 27th of last year, Oculus founder Palmer Luckey, who departed the company in 2017, made a prediction on Twitter. Quest 2 is going to outsell the Nintendo 64. The Nintendo 64 sold nearly 33 million units worldwide during its lifetime. Earlier this year, it was estimated the Quest 2 had shipped 10 million units since its October 2020 launch. While it seems more likely the Quest 3 will come out before the 2 reaches 33 million, who knows what will happen this coming year. Okay, well, that was the most interesting article I've read so far about all of this. I kind of want to look. Let me look up. I want to look at a review of the Oculus Quest 2 because I don't know much about it. So let me see a review. Something that won't get me. Do I want to review? What review do I want? I thought IGN would have a review. They don't. So all right. Well, this is the only.
Hey, you know what's better than a $5,000 PC?
I don't
A
care.
$5,000 PC that costs $0. It's time to
I
give
never
you
do
free stuff
giveaways
thanks
because
to
the
our-
chance of me getting
Just so we're
something
clear,
is so low.
Facebook
I don't think it's
sponsored
worth
this
my
video,
time.
But my condition
Oh,
was
it's sponsored. It's sponsored. That makes me trust it a little less. Come on. All right, fine. You're at the top of the page. Gizmo Slip Tech. Not saying the video was gonna be bad. I never watched a video on this channel, so it's like.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of Gizmo Slip Tech. Today, we're taking a look at the Oculus Quest 2. This is my detailed review of it after 100+ hours of use. I have been using this every day for like over 2 hours on average. Shirts. So how does the Oculus Quest 2 stand up versus the competition? Well, simply put, the number one reason to buy the Quest 2, or Quest 1 really, is because it has a fully standalone VR headset. You don't need anything else besides this and the controllers, and you can have a great time in VR. Virtually all the other headsets out there require you to plug your VR headset into a PC to stream the high quality visuals from your powerful graphics card on your PC. Now, since the vast majority of people do not have powerful gaming PCs, that means they will never be able to enjoy a PC VR headset. But they can pick up a Quest 2 and have a fully immersive VR experience. Now, when you use a VR headset, you can have inside out tracking, like we have cameras here on the 40 by 1600 per eye, but it is an OLED display. The Quest 2 has a resolution of 1832 by 1920. So that means the Quest 2 has 52% more resolution to work with than the Quest 1. I know it doesn't seem like the numbers are that different, but when you multiply them out, the difference in numbers become exponential. Therefore, small differences matter a lot more when it comes to resolution. In addition, we have a 90 Hz refresh rate on the Quest 2 versus a 72 Hz refresh rate on the Quest 1. Now, keep in mind that not all VR games on the Quest 2 will be in 90 Hz. That's going to be up to developers, and honestly up to Oculus also allowing the developers to turn those features on and off. And the tricky part about the 90 Hz versus 72 Hz is that if you enable 90 Hz in all the games, what you're going to have is significantly reduced battery life, because the GPU in the Quest 2 is going to have to work a lot harder to push that kind of frame rate out to the system. And this is a battery powered system, fully standalone, so you might go from 2.5 hours of battery life to less than 2 hours of battery life if you change just the refresh rate on a game. Now, when it comes to the processor, we're dealing with Snapdragon 835 on the Quest 1 and a Snapdragon XR2 on the Quest 2. And keep in mind, the XR Quest 1 and a Snapdragon. When it comes to the processor, we're dealing with Snapdragon 835 on the Quest 1 and a Snapdragon XR2 on the
Snapdragon XR2. So how strong is the Snapdragon XR2? Specs. Let's see what. Snapdragon XR2. GPU integrated graphics. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so here's the X. Well, it's only comparing itself to other Snapdragons. But I mean, I guess that's a fair comparison. If it was compared to actual, like, computer computer parts, it wouldn't have been as good. I guess I don't know I don't know a good comparison. So is it essentially like if you put like a Galaxy S21 Ultra in a Quest? That's what I don't know. That's what I'm a little bit like I don't know what to compare that technology with.
Quest 2. And keep in mind, the XR2 is dramatically more powerful for both video rendering and just general usage. So that means the Quest 2 has a lot more potential hardware power, which honestly is not even being harnessed that much yet, aside from the resolution increase, because we're dealing with 52% life. Now, I was actually playing one of these VR games, and I happened to play.
So the only thing I'm wondering is, like, can you just leave it plugged in and play longer? I mean, 2.5 hours is still plenty of time for VR, but that's what I'm curious about.
Oculus is not allowing them to make these features user options. Like, if the user could switch between 72 Hertz and 90 Hertz, it would be nice, because then they can choose would they rather have more battery life or a faster refresh rate. And you got to keep in mind that a higher refresh rate is going to make a bigger difference in titles with fast action. Think like Beat Saber, when you're swinging the sword so fast, you got to track all these things coming at you, and you got to swing. If you have 90 hertz, it does add to the experience more than other games that are slower paced, that the difference in refresh rate just doesn't make as big of a difference. Basically, what I would love to see is that developers and Oculus will allow us to choose whether we want to be in 72 hertz or 90 hertz for each specific game. Would we rather have the battery life, or would we rather have the refresh rate? And I think I would generally pick refresh rate most of the time, unless I knew that I wasn't going to be able to charge the Quest 2 for a
Okay, so now I'm curious if there's like Oculus Quest 3. That's the one thing I'm curious about right now. There's not a lot of news about the 3. And the only reason why I'm curious about it, because honestly, because isn't so Resident Evil 4 VR. That's an Oculus Quest 2 game. So this can play Resident Evil 4 VR. And if games like this started coming out,
Resident Evil
I think that's fine. Like, I think the hardware is enough. You know? I don't know, personally. So, if an Oculus Quest 2 can play Resident Evil 4, that's great. I just thought about waiting for the 3 to come out, but I guess maybe not. Maybe it won't come out anytime soon yet. Interesting. Yeah, I guess I kept thinking that hardware was going to be more important for VR, but it doesn't seem to be. I'm gonna mute that. That's annoying. John Wick mode. Oh, is he using like the soundtrack from John Wick? I don't know. It is cool. You can just switch from weapons to weapons. You don't have to pause to do it. You can just... Yeah, it looks fun. It does look fun. And VR is something I wanted. And if I don't need a powerful computer, that might be my jam, honestly. Because, yeah, like, VR chat seems fun. Beat Saber seems fun. I played, was it Hot something? Hot something I've played. So, I don't know. All those things are interesting to me. I didn't realize I was going to spend this much time reading these articles. I thought I was going to get through a lot more stuff, but it doesn't matter to me. Because there was, right here, I wanted to talk about this one, just because I'm curious about it. All right. This Jet Set Radio spiritual successor continues to blow me away. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk's new trailer showcases a bevy of ways to get around the game's world. As a big fan of Jet Set Radio, an early aughts action rollerblading game, publisher Sega still has yet to officially reboot. I was stoked to see developer Team Reptile unveil its spiritual successor, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, in 2020. Here is a game that serves as Jet Set Radio's sequel in all but name alone. However, a new BRC trailer illuminates that, for all of its seeing similarities to Jet Set Radio, the new game is also committed to carving out its own special style, and I'm totally into it. The trailer isn't that long, running about 40 seconds, but it's so good. It's got a banger track, Agua, by Persian producer BX Themes, and showcases the various ways you can get around Bomb Rush's Cyberpunk's world. This includes skateboarding as well as inline skating. Also gives our first glimpse of BMX riding, something you definitely couldn't do in the Jet Set Radio games. Honestly, it's a pretty slick trailer. With Agua playing in the background, we see various BRC characters swapping between 3 available transportation methods. They're grinding air vents and handrails while performing the incredible tricks to rack up points and looking good, looking clean, doing it all. All right, short but sweet. Honestly, if no one would have told me anything, I would have thought to myself that it was a Jet Set Radio sequel. Honestly, it looks like one, but hey, and I think honestly more. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I can't say that because I don't think making 3D games is any easier than it was back in the day. It's not easier now. I don't think so. I think more people have the ability to do it now, but making a good 3D game is still very difficult. Not easy. But yeah, but I want to see more developers become influenced by older games, you know? Cuz it does seem like older games know what they're doing a little better. They seem to have aged well. And I think maybe because they were focusing more on design than anything else. Design was their key, and everything had to revolve around the design. So I'm not sure, but hey, that anything else that catches my eye? Okay. When was this? Oh, that was like a month ago. That was like a month ago. That's older news. It's important. The Blizzard thing is definitely important. It's just yeah, I wanted to talk about, let's see, latest. I guess I want to go to the latest. I wouldn't be so picky if you know I was reading this more often. I don't know. I've been doing this for like 40 minutes now, so I feel like that's good. I feel like I'm kind of at the end of my ropes, unless something else catches my attention. Okay, you know what? I'll talk about this. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? E3 2022 goes online only amid pandemic fueled by Omicron variant. The ESA and its concern about the health risks surrounding COVID-19 and its potential impacts on attendees. The Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3, will shift to an online only showcase for a second consecutive year and a year off according to GameBeats. In a statement shared with GameBeats, the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, which runs E3, cited concerns regarding the ongoing pandemic, now fueled by the Omicron variant that has caused a sharp spike in confirmed infections. At this point, it's unclear when or if E3 will return as an in-person event. Due to an ongoing health risk surrounding COVID-19 and its potential impact on the safety of exhibitors and attendees, E3 will not be held in person in 2022. The ESA said in a statement, "We are nonetheless excited about the future of E3 and look forward to announcing more details soon when reached for comment via email." There were rumblings E3 2021 would take place in person after last year's was held online, and 2020's was canceled entirely, but the ESA opted to make the showcase online only as the Delta variant of the coronavirus upend people's lives. While the date for E3 2022 has yet to be confirmed, the event typically takes place during the first or second full week of June. It's worth mentioning that according to business analyst Mike Futter, the ESA has abandoned its dates for the LACC at the end of November 2021. This means the ESA could have scrapped plans for an in-person event prior to the full effect of Omicron being realized. And of course, last year's E3 was quite a mess. Many companies, including PlayStation, opted out of the event after doing so for the later canceled 2020 show. While others hosted their own live streams, the whole thing made EE 2021 the biggest event feel sparse and a little unnecessary. Hopefully, the ESA irons out its kinks this year for a smoother show. All right, so this is the last thing I'll talk about, and then I am done. So, it seems like, despite me thinking that 2022 was going to be back to normal, that I don't think 2022 will be necessarily a normal year. I don't think it's going to be as bad of a year as either 2021 or 2020. Crossing my fingers there. I could definitely be wrong. But I think social distancing, staying home, and wearing masks are definitely going to remain a relevant, or especially vaccines, that's definitely going to remain a relevant topic. And seeing all these live events cancel and do online only, I think, yeah, kind of makes sense. We kind of thought we were over the hump, and then we're just not. So there's really not much to say there. It's just, obviously, with what's going on, obviously, if they were doing a live event, it would have been dumb in my eyes, personally. So that's really all I've got to say. But thank you so much for listening and watching. Today was a little different. I was trying to, come up with normal topics as I normally do, but it seems like when I'm on a weekend, when I'm on a day off, that the amount of hours I work and the amount of stress I put on my body just kind of picks up on me, and then I just can't, like, it seems like my free time is turning into nap time. It's just, I have to sleep. I don't know what it is. It sucks. It really seems like the amount of energy I had as a kid is gone. When you're a kid, you feel immortal, and now I feel mortal. I went from immortal to mortal. So interesting. So, when I'm president, kids are going to be doing all the work. They're going to be working in the factories and things like that. And then when you turn 20, then you retire. So I'll make that a decree. All right. So vote for me when I become that age, whenever that time comes. All right. Thank you so much, folks, for watching. This was I'm glad I'm glad I did something that still caught my attention, because I was afraid that I wasn't going to do anything that would catch my attention. So thank you very much. All right. You folks take care. Bye-bye.